All right, Shabbosai, good morning. Let us begin. Maybe the opportunity, a shorter daf this morning's opportunity to spend a few moments on Tzidkas HaTzaddik. We are picking up in Os Vav, which is page Yud Beis. I sent out the PDF also on the chat. So HaTzaddik says as follows. So continuing on the theme of Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim. So the Rebbe writes as follows. Again, we'll follow along in the Uriah Chasidus, which is on page Yud Beis. The Rebbe writes as follows. Darchi Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim b'shleimus. So the Shulchan Aruch writes as follows. Hasidur shel Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim shleima. Amru Chazal b'Gemara. Quotes the Gemara. Mar Mesadas Brachos. Harotze she'ikabel alav Ol Malchus Shamayim shleima. If a person wants to fully accept upon themselves the yoke of heaven, and we've been discussing, it's been a little while since we learned Rabbi HaTzaddik, but we've been discussing this idea of what Kriyas Shema means, of what Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim means. So the Gemara says if one wants to accept upon themselves Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim in totality, one has to take the following steps. Yifneh, V'yitol Yadav, V'yaniach Tfilin, V'yikra Kriyas Shema, V'yispalel. V'zohi malchus shamayim shlema. So, what are the steps? Now, so literally translated, Yifneh means to relieve oneself. In other words, this is the secret, this is the order when I wake up in the morning. So, first step a person has to do is relieve themselves, take care of one's bodily needs. After that, Yital Yadav, Yetila Asadayim, wash your hands, Yaniach Tfilin, put on Tfilin, Yikra Kriyas Shema, V'yishma, V'yispalel, and Shmona Esrei. And that is the Seder, that is the order of Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim. Okay, beautiful. So also it's pretty straightforward. Look what the Rebbe does. Now the Rebbe is going to show how each of these pieces is a distinct and unique form of Avodas Hashem. So watch this. V'yisbar in Yonim shall call pratim alalu echad le'echad. Let's explain each of these steps really on its own. So Reishis Kol, the first step, of course, is Nifneh. Now, I'll say that interesting. He says, Milvad HaPeresh HaPoshet Tahinu Lenako says Kufo Me'apsol Shamev. So obviously, aside from Nifneh means, of course, on the most basic level, to relieve oneself. But aside from that level, what else does Nifneh mean? So the Rebbe says something so beautiful. He says, HaPereshu Kam Shechayev Ha'adam Lenakos Es Libo Mikol Gilule Psoles Ta'avas HaOlam. Now, this is actually fascinating. The lashon of nifneh also means to turn away from something. So again, the lashon over here is to relieve, but it also means to turn away from something. Now, what does it mean in this context to turn away? He says it means to go ahead and to literally cleanse oneself, to turn away mikol gilulei psolas tavos ha'olam, to turn away from all of the literally invalid. Psolas means like borer, like ocham psolas, like the chaff, right? To turn away from all of the things in this world that ultimately, again, are unnecessary desires. Now, what does this mean specifically? Dahainu hamosaros, extras. So I'll say, let's read it, and then we'll explain it just a little bit more. Ta'anugi ha'olam she'inam nitzrachim lo likiyum ha'adam lo litzar shum mitzvah. Ultimately, again, things that are additional, things that are extra, that are really unnecessary to succeed in this world. So we'll say, this Asher Lo L'Shem Shamayim. This is a really beautiful idea. Judaism is not an ascetic religion. Right? So because Judaism is not an ascetic religion, therefore again, enjoy material things in this world. What's the danger of materialism? The danger is excess. That's where the danger becomes. Excess, because excess is where suddenly then materialism becomes the sole focus of life in this world to the exclusion of spiritual pursuits. So therefore, says the Rebbe, the first step almost that a person has to take in their day is nifneh. What are the overindulgences? What is the excess in my material life that I really don't need? That I really don't need. Not even how could I pare down my gashmias? Not even that. What are the areas of excess that potentially, again, cause overindulgence, that derail my spiritual pursuits in life? That's the first thing. That's the first thing I have to identify. He says, Shegilali haguf, hemichilek hamachal, what's fascinating about this is, remember again, where is the Rebbe learning this out from? Where is he learning this out from? He's learning out from the word nifneh. What does nifneh literally mean? To relieve oneself. So the Rebbe says something so profound. He says, think about this. What happens when a person goes ahead and relieves oneself, right? So specifically, again, a person, nifna literally means like to defecate, or to, it's like what happens? The body takes in food, the body takes what it needs, and then expels the rest. So the concept of nifna means identify what you need. And by the way, what you need doesn't just have to mean like water and bread, and that what you need means, again, what are the things that are necessary to keep you sated, to keep you happy, to keep you in a good spot in life, right? And then what's the stuff that's the overindulgence? What's the stuff that's the unnecessary? And then figure out how to expel that from your existence. Same way that waste, right? Waste represents the parts of the food that are not necessary for the sustenance of the body. Kach gam gilule tavas halev. Heim ha'nos she'ino nitzrachos the adam nitzrach avodas Hashem yisbarach. So taking about say there are areas of material indulgence that are simply not necessary. But it's more than that. It's more than that they're not necessary. It's that they're harmful. And the Rebbe doesn't even mean harmful like sinful. He just means harmful in that they're fundamentally distracting. B'nikayon zeh makin es ha'adam lekabel ol malchus shamayim shlema. And cleansing oneself in this way prepares one ultimately again for Kabbalah Malchus Shamayim. So we'll say it's a really profound yisod. So the first step in the day is nifneh. What are the overindulgences in life? What are the material things that I simply really don't need? They're just not necessary. Where do I draw that line? Where do I draw that line in order to be focused? Which is fascinating how in the world of Rabbi HaTzaddik, the first step in my day is really this identifying what are the things that are the overindulgences that I need to stay away from, and in order to keep myself focused on the straight and narrow, not an ascetic life, not to swear off anything material, but what are the things that I just don't need? And if I don't need them, identify them, don't get distracted by them, and continue down the straight and narrow in life. His next step, the note al yadav. So the next step, of course, in the order of the morning, is wash your hands. He says, "Milvad pshuto dahainu letares yadayim mikol zuamo tuma gamish levar leinyan nikayon halev." So in addition, ultimately, again, so obviously, all of these things mean the pashup pshat, right? So the pashup pshat is, so go ahead and wash your hands. In addition to the pashup pshat of washing your hands, there's a higher level. The higher level that Rebbe says is what's called nikayon halev. Cleansing of the heart. Api masha shamati meimori v'Rabbi Arav HaKadosh me'ishbitza shakol makom batar shemofia inyan zeh shoramizas rechitzas yadayim kimo rechitzas hakohanim v'sedeim me'akirim be'amektish or rechitzas ziknia ames deim be'eglas harufa hiromezes asiluk nigios ha'adam be'inyan ahu shemachmas well. Suppose that we're going to stop over here for today. We'll pick up with this piece in Eretz Hashem tomorrow. So this is the next piece. So now, so we had nifneh. After nifneh, netilas yadayim. In addition to going ahead and washing away any impurity, netilas yadayim also represents a washing away of what he calls nigios. I'm washing something away from my life. What that thing is, in Eretz Hashem to be determined tomorrow. Shkach Habosai.